Everybody, welcome. Thank you so much to those who are able to join us live today. And hey to everybody watching the recording. This will be, if you're in the Empowered Business Habits group, this will be uploaded to your content. And this one, because the broader community is invited, we'll probably post a YouTube replay as well. As you all know, we do like to talk about goals from time to time and keeping ourselves on track with our goals, making sure we're still in alignment and we're taking steps to achieve them and adjusting where necessary. So this time around, we've got a few months, about 10 weeks total left in 2025. So let's talk about making a push as far as our goals go so that we can finish this year strong and get into the next year. So remember to have that high vibration mindset. Whenever we talk about goals, mindset is super important when talking about goals. Why do you guys think that might be? Why is our mindset so important as opposed to just sitting down and going through this in a mechanical matter? John,
Well,
yeah.
whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you're right.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Nice and succinct. John, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Heather. It's all in your mind. It's everything is comes from your mind about what you can do or what you can't do.
I think you got to be in the right mindset to focus on what it is you really want.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not it's got to be a big goal that stretches you because,
Mm.
you know, otherwise, you know, it won't be engaging enough.
Yeah. I like how you put that. Something that stretches you so it's engaging, right? If the goal is we want goals that are achievable, but if they're a little too practical minded, then it's also not that interesting, right? It's not that exciting. You want something you're going to go after, aim high, and if you don't achieve that high goal, that's fine. I mean, if my income goal for the year is $200,000, that's great. But if my income goal for is a million, a lot harder to achieve, but something that's much more exciting. And I'm more likely to hit the 200,000 if my income goal is a million, because that's what I'm striving for. If you strive for the 200,000, you may not get that far. And if your mindset is based in fear and lack and limitation, what are your goals going to reflect?
Fear, lack, and limitation.
Yeah, fear, lack, and limitation. You get what you focus on. It's if my dream car is a red Toyota Camry, and I go out and I get my beautiful dream car, and I'm so excited. I have my bright red Toyota Camry. What do I see everywhere tomorrow?
Right, red Toyota Camrys.
Red. So suddenly, the entire world has red Toyota Camrys, and I don't feel so special anymore. Right? It's what I'm focused on. So what you focus on is what you're going to get.
Well, you're activating the reticular activated system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's nothing magical about it. It's just the way the brain works. John, yeah.
Yeah, and I think in the mindset is an awareness. If you're not aware of your fear and lack of your limitations or gratitude and abundance, whatever way you look at it, that's a lack of something. And you don't want to come from lack, but it's your mindset that where that awareness comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, being aware of it is a good thing. Often we're in a fear and lack mindset and we don't even know it.
Yes.
We don't even hear it. We hear it easily in others because it's easier to hear these things in others because it's not our baby. But when it's your baby, it's hard to be objective. Or when it's your water, you're swimming in it. What happens when you ask a fish, hey, how's the water? What does the fish say?
What water?
What water? What is water? What are you talking about? Right? Now, instead of fear and lack, what if we set our goals in a mindset of gratitude and abundance and joy? Right now, our goals are going to reflect gratitude, abundance, and joy. So, getting in that high vibe mindset when you're goal setting, when you're accomplishing goals, you're creating new habits is incredibly important. So, whatever 2025 has been like so far, and I'm assuming, look, we're almost the end of October, everybody here has had some ups and downs this year. Yeah, is that safe to say? We've had some ups, We've had some highs, we've had some lows. There's got to be things you can be grateful for and proud of. So if you want to drop it in the chat, everybody, 2 or 3 things from 2025 that you are grateful for and proud of, to start setting that notion of gratitude and abundance and joy as we move forward. What are things you've done in 2025 you've accomplished that give you gratitude?
Well, and I notice it's much easier for me to focus on the challenges I've had.
Oh, for sure. Have we had some challenges this year, honey?
That sounds like a yes.
Certainly hasn't turned out the way I thought it would.
No, this is not how we thought the year was going to start. And yet we can be grateful for some of the things that are coming out of it, some of the work getting done. What about anybody else? What's stuff you can be grateful for and proud of in 2025 so far? You can shout it out or drop it in the chat. There's got to be something. I'm grateful for doctors I've been working with. I'm grateful for energetic healers I've been working with on a healing journey. I'm grateful for my wife and my fur babies. Grateful for our community here in the business. Zoom is freaking. John, grateful for your spiritual growth, self-care, positive attitude.
I'm grateful for this little Simba.
That little Simba,
Yeah, isn't he great?
he's pretty great. He's pretty great.
Our newest family member.
Yeah, what is he, about 6 months old now? He's not so little anymore.
Nope.
No. You guys remember Harold and the Purple Crayon? That cartoon from the 80s? Any Gen Xers or boomers in here remember Harold and the Purple Crayon? What could Harold do with the purple crayon? Oh, sorry, what was that, Barb?
Probably he did a lot with that purple crayon.
He did do a lot. It was magic. He could draw anything he wanted and it would become real. Right? Yeah, so a lot of us could do that as kids. When I was a kid, I felt like I had a purple crayon, but then society and realism, right? Parents and authority figures who wanted me to be practical told me, no, you're not that special. You can't do that magic stuff. What if we still had a purple crayon? What if we moved forward with that mindset of gratitude and joy and abundance and the things we're proud of? Started drawing the world we wanted around us, made it real.
Daydreaming is a very positive thing. And when we were kids, you were often told not to daydream.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we have to try to change that paradigm and learn to practice daydreaming.
I love that, Tom. You're right. Daydreaming as a kid was a normal and natural thing, but yeah, you were told not to. You got in trouble for it. Yeah, practice daydreaming. I love it. Now, finishing the year strong can matter. If you're able to build momentum at the end of 2025, it carries over into 2026. You don't want to have to start next year from scratch. You want to build that momentum now so you can just keep going and set goals for next year that perfectly align with the stuff you're trying to get done now. And so any small wins you can have at year's end are going to compound later on. Any small wins we can do now are going to keep compounding, just like an investment. So think about where you stand right now with a couple months left to go. Reflect on this year and think about, what did I set out to accomplish this year? Just think about that for a minute. You can write it down if you have a notepad. You can put it in the chat. You can, if you want to speak it out loud to the group, you're welcome to do that. What did you set out to accomplish? Take yourself back to the beginning. And it's okay if life threw monkey wrenches in there. Life does that. And then you can ask where I am now, or where am I now, compared to what I set out to accomplish. And now this is just reflection and looking at things from a high level view. This is not a value judgment. So if you say I set out to accomplish X and I'm not even halfway there, or I'm on a totally different track now, that's not a good or bad thing. It just is what it is. It doesn't mean necessarily anything's wrong with it. Donna, get fit and healthy, get your energy business up and running. Yeah. And where are you now on that, Donna? Are you on that track?
Do you want me to answer?
If you want to, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't think I was getting very far until just this meeting and this discussion right now. But I realized that I'm on track for both goals. I've been working at both goals, just chipping away a little at a time. Um, and I like where I'm at. I'm glad for where I'm at. And I definitely have seen improvements. I'm just not seeing all the fruit of it yet. Like I'm looking for the big fruit, right? Like being the dress size I want to be and having an income. And well, I have a tiny income right now. I guess that's more than I had before, actually, more than last year. So that's something. Um, but putting everything into place and so that I can do the rinse repeat to grow the fruit so it's bigger, more where I want to be. But and I hope to push through the end of the year to get there a little bit faster if I can.
Yeah, I love that how you talk about your chipping away. And it does get easy to focus on like the giant fruit that we're waiting for and miss the little fruit every day that grow from this. And this, I like the rinse and repeat notion of putting systems and habits and routines into place that just keep pushing you forward automatically. We've talked a lot this year in our Empowered Business Habits group about those small daily changes and habits and routines that move us forward and chip away, getting us where we want to be one day at a time. So focus on the wins you've had this year. What are some of the wins you've had? Heather and I set out the year wanting to create a daily group that had loving, non-judgmental accountability. And so that's a win. We did that.
Well, and it's okay that life doesn't turn out the way you expected. It's still important to be grateful. I mean, even if the money isn't as high as you wanted, Donna, or it's not happening as fast, it's still a huge win that you didn't have before.
Yep.
It is because it tells me every month that I'm needed and that what I'm doing is good. And so
Yeah,
I'm trying to hold on to that and I want to grow that.
right. And the money will speed up. It'll increase and it'll speed up. But you're also that, the money isn't your only goal. The business isn't your only goal. Your other goal is health.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning how to operate your business in a healthy way that nurtures and honors your body, your mind, and your spirit all together, and learning to rework those systems that we've been taught to push, push, push and achieve, achieve, achieve. You're reworking huge systems, as Ian and I both are.
That's so true. That's so spot on, Heather. That's exactly right. Um, and I think about that. Even if my business was like huge right now, if I get sick every other month, that's no good. That's not what I want.
Right. So the fact that you were able to earn the money and focus on your health,
Mhm.
I think is probably more than you actually even thought or dreamed you could achieve.
You, you know, you're absolutely right, and I hadn't even thought of that. That I'm actually doing that right now. I'm maintaining my health and working. So I guess I want to grow in both, which will probably, I always have this mindset of I have to do the one thing and then I can do the other thing. But I'm seeing right now that no, it's kind of a step in one and a step forward in the other and kind of a back and forth and actually working them both together. And that's not easy. That's probably explains why I didn't get quite as far as I didn't get near as far as I thought I would, because I think I didn't take that into consideration.
Right. So maybe even adjusting the goal.
Yeah,
The goal is conjoint.
Yes, true. Yes.
maybe you got exactly as far as you were supposed to.
I don't think you're wrong. I think that's pretty accurate.
Mhm. John.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback what Donna's saying here, and Heather, and what this discussion is about is where am I now, and what are my wins for the year? Is that I've learned that the most fundamental thing for me is my health, and then I had an attitude that says, oh, that's everybody else should have that awareness that that's the foundational piece for how we function at our optimal best as we share, whatever we share with others. And I came from a place where, like my family, they basically rejected me because, I kind of pushed it on them. I just kind of really, laid my trip on them that this is what's good for you. And I learned that I've got to just lead, sit back and lead by example. And then they will come to me if they want to, if they have that awareness. And that is, a big win for me is to just be my best possible self on what I believe in. And if people believe in that's what I'm offering, then they will come to me and I don't have to shove it down their throats.
Yeah, attracting based on your energy and values rather than chasing.
Yeah, exactly.
I found when I chase the goals too much, when I chase clients, when I chase something, like if you've got a little kitty cat in your house and you want them to snuggle, you don't go chasing the kitty cat. They're going to run away. You attract them. You lay down, you be calm, you relax, and they will come to you. Love our kitty cat.
I don't think it's such a bad idea to kind of separate some of these things into a personal goal
Mhm.
and a professional or
Yeah,
academic goal so that um, you know there's certain steps that can be not in just interchangeable like
mhm.
but I think it's good to have maybe you know separate those two anyway. I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, it's not bad to categorize these in whatever way that works for you. And I think
Right.
there's a balance between recognizing you're going to have your personal goals, your professional goals, your academic goals, however you want to set them out, and at the same time knowing that they all do affect each other, and that if my health is doing better, then I'm probably going to do better in my professional goals. And if I'm doing better in my professional goals and I have money in the bank and clients to serve, it's going to be easier to deal with my health because I'm got a lot less anxiety, and then make progress on every front.
And for certain people, I think, like for Donna and maybe for you and me, honey, our personal does affect the professional. So how well we're doing with our own physical and mental health, because our physical health impacts our mental health, our physical and our mental health affects how we show up for clients. And so for some of us, the goal is how to be mindful and honor the body and honor the feelings while being productive, successful, whatever it is we want the exterior to look like. So it's okay to kind of combine the goals too, if that's, needing to happen for some of us.
And then I think when you take that out into the community about what you're offering, is it's almost like I'll give you two examples that you can be most effective. Let's say as a financial advisor, if you advise on something that you think your client should invest in, and then the client asks you, "Is that something that you would do?" He says, "No, not really. I don't do that." Then you lose some credibility there. And then also, let's say you go to your doctor, and this happened to me, where I visited my doctor, and he would give me advice, and how to be as healthy as I could. And then a couple months later, he had a heart attack, and and he also got cancer. And so what I did was I watched him as he gave me advice, saying, "Well, I wonder if that advice applies to him or not." And it apparently, whatever happened to him, I don't know. But it's someone I did not want to listen to. I listened to my own self about how I learned how to take care of myself in the best way I possibly could.
Yeah, it'd be like if I told you, as your lawyer, I'm telling you should have written contracts for everything, and you say, "Well, Ian, do you have written contracts?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh, no, I never worry about that." Why would I do that, right?
Yeah.
So think about what's working for you, and part of that is being honest about your results and doing it without judgment and without fear. Just looking at the results you're getting this year, and you don't need to live in a romanticized version of how the year has gone so far. You don't need to be a jerk to yourself about it. You don't need to feel shame and guilt and get down on yourself and have the negative self talk either. It's just an honest reflection of how things are going. And remember that you are, whether you know it or not, you're running a program right now in your life and in your head. You're running a program. And you are running a program that is uniquely designed to get you exactly what you have. Right? We're all running that program right now. And it's all slightly different because we're all living a slightly different life. And that program we're running has got us where we are. So be honest about, is that the program we want to keep running? What do we need to change about the program we're running? If we're not where we want to be, if we're on track and if we're where we want to be, great. And if we're not, then what's wrong with the program we're running? Because the program we're running is what got us here.
If I could add to that, Ian, I think what you're saying too is that as long as you're making progress on whatever you're doing, and to be aware of that progress and to know from a positive standpoint, and this is what you did in EBH, was to be able to have gratitude for your progress. So that's an awareness thing. And once you have that awareness that you are moving, then you give yourself, at least this is what works for me, is I give myself grace that says I'm going in the right direction. And I got to be very, either patient with myself or grateful for what I'm doing, but at the same time being aware that I am moving in the right direction. And the only thing that's going to stop me from failing is to quit. So that's how I look at it.
If you are moving in the right direction, yeah, right. But part of that is analyzing, where was I a year ago and where am I now? Am I closer or farther from the place I want to be? And being honest about that. And if
Yes.
you are getting closer, if you are chipping away at those goals and that's working, then great. And if you're not getting closer to the goals, if you're getting farther from them, then think about that. And that's where we start to think about, are the goals, are we not getting closer because maybe they're not in alignment? We're going to talk about that. Are the goals still in alignment, but we're not doing what it takes to get there? This is the honesty part about it. So what things are working for you right now? What are the things right now that are moving you closer? Yeah, that's what Barbara just put in there too. What are the one or two things you're doing that are working? And start thinking about, do you need to adjust or drop that things don't work?
I think this is what you did in EBH also, was being aware of your wins, your small wins, little wins, whatever way you want to look at it, to look at it every day to say, what was a win? And that's an awareness thing too. And that's, a great tool that you gave us in EBH.
Yeah. What are your wins so you can keep doing those things? What are the things that are not so much wins that you need to adjust? Right? It's great. It's great to focus on the wins and be grateful for them. And we talk about that all the time. And at the same time, that's what this slide is about, is the honesty part. What are the things that are not wins? Because if there are things that are not taking us where we want to go, we want to adjust those things. Sometimes our goals go off track for different reasons, right? Goals that might be unclear or that are not measurable. Do any of us have some of those goals? I know I get some of those sometimes. I want to make more money. I want to serve more clients. I want to eat healthier. Those are all good and fine things. They are also a little ambiguous, right? And it's easy to get off track if I haven't set up ways I can measure that. We get off track when we have a lack of routine, or we have lack of the habits that serve us. So having a routine and habits that serve us is really important. And if we lack that routine that moves us forward every day, if we lack the habits that serve us, we get off track very quickly.
Or if something shows up in your life that changes your routine.
Yep.
Or I mean, like if you go to a conference, travel, a life circumstance happens.
Yeah.
And it's not that life is supposed to stay frozen. It's how quickly do you either adapt or get back to what you know works for you. As quickly as you can. Or even adjusting if you're on the road, but you need your morning accountability, your morning exercise, your morning journaling, your morning meditation. If you need to pack certain foods to keep your body healthy, how do you do all of that while you're still on the road? And taking good care of yourself.
Yeah. That's something Heather and I notice sometimes. We can get in a good, healthy routine, and then we get on the road to travel, and suddenly it's hamburgers and tacos and lack of sleep, right? No exercise, no meditation. Anybody else?
And then you get the case of the effits.
The case of the effits. Yeah, you get a case of the effits. Yeah. I figure, well, I'm already off my routine, so F it.
Mm-hmm.
Hamburgers and tacos and pizza from now on. In which case, from now on might not be very long.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else here get distracted or shift their priorities? I do.
Never.
Never? No? No funny objects? No rabbit holes?
I'm being sarcastic.
Lots of fun new things and new things we want to accomplish and new stuff we want to do and new, that's all right. Those things get us off track. That's not necessarily about a value judgment of good or bad. It just is what it is. Distractions are normal. The question is the distraction and the new priority something that's really in alignment that we should be shifting to because life has changed circumstances? Or is it taking us off track from something that we really did want to accomplish and mean to accomplish and should accomplish?
I know for me that I get these periods of chasing bright shiny objects, and boy, is that easy for me to do. And now that I've kind of fine tuned that, is it in alignment with what I want to do, what I want to accomplish? And so I can look at it another way and saying, okay, that's okay because I'm upgrading myself to how I want to get closer to my accomplishing my goals. But sometimes it hasn't been that way, and I get distracted, and I have to really be aware that this is not taking me in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I've been traveling the last 3 weeks,
Mhm.
and and that's exactly what I dealt with. I worked hard to prepare for before I left, knowing that it was going to be difficult to keep any routines, and how could I keep them? And I did pretty good for the first 2 weeks, and then by the time it was road trip home time, it was pretty hard. It was just like I'm just going to do the best I can. And I ended up getting sick the last day, which for me was pretty good. I held out the whole time. I did well the whole time. And then this week it's been taking care of myself, getting myself well, and getting back on my schedule, which is enough of a habit that it's falling into place pretty easily. So I'm glad about that. Yeah.
Good. And so then, stepping back again and looking at the goals from the year, it's okay to reevaluate whether those goals are still things you want to do. Maybe some of the things that you got distracted with were just life circumstances changing, or realizing that this other thing is more in alignment with who you want to be in the life you want to live. Sometimes those distractions take us off of goals that were in alignment, still are in alignment. So it's okay to say, yeah, these were my goals at the beginning of the year, but maybe some of these goals are not things I still feel good about, not things that I get excited about, not things that I feel in alignment with, and that's okay. We change, life changes, stuff changes around us. That's all right. So as we approach the end of the year, start to think again about whether the goals you set earlier this year are still the goals you want to accomplish, or whether you want to start adjusting that. And if they are still, then great. On the other hand, some of them might be outdated. Maybe you're not the same person that you were at the beginning of the year. That's all right. Maybe you've changed your mind on some things. Maybe you've done some personal growth. Maybe just circumstances have changed around you. So are there outdated goals that you can drop? And dropping goals that no longer feel in alignment can be very freeing, right? Because we set these goals and then we tend to like pressure ourselves, like, oh my gosh, I have to get these done. Or if I didn't get them done, then something's wrong with me and I'm doing something wrong. Well, maybe some of them are things that you don't need to be getting done. You can take that weight off. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. As we think about finishing off the year, you can divide the remaining time into weeks if you want. There's roughly 10 weeks left this year. So maybe you can divide it up into 10 chunks as you move forward. As you get off here today, start to divide it up into 10 chunks, or maybe 5 chunks of 2 weeks each. And then set some practical, achievable milestones each week. And it's okay to take into account holidays, right? So your goal for Thanksgiving week might be I'm not going to go insane on Thanksgiving when I see relatives, right? Or I'm going to cook a beautiful Thanksgiving meal and enjoy time with relatives. Or, it doesn't have to be some huge life or business changing event for Thanksgiving week. Maybe your goal for Christmas week is I'm going to enjoy time with myself. I'm going to enjoy time with the people I care about. I'm going to feel gratitude. That's all right. You can take that into account, but you can pull out your little notepads, and just start saying, all right, we got 10 weeks left. Can we chunk it up? What's our goal for this week and the next week and the next week? That's something I've been working on for, in our business. What are my goals for each of the weeks as far as the things I'm going to conduct, the things I'm going to offer, the content I'm going to get out? Go ahead and chunk it up. That's fine. And part of your plan should be creating new habits. We did a whole class on this. I don't know if it was last month or the month before, but something like 40% of your day is habit driven. It's crazy. We go through our day, almost half our day, we're like zombies or like puppets, just following our habits and our routine. And just that fact by itself is not a good or bad thing. It just is. The human brain likes efficiency. The human brain uses a disproportionate amount of energy in our body to keep running. It's a very small percentage of the mass of your body, but it's using like a quarter or a third of the energy your body produces. So what does your brain do? It finds shortcuts. These are our habits. I get out of bed, I make my bed, I put on clothes, I brush my teeth, I go eat. These are just habits. They're just things I do to get me through so I don't have to think too hard about them. I can use that energy for something else. And because 40% of our day is just driven by habit, it's on autopilot, we can start being more deliberate about the routine and the habits that we want to have for that 40%. We can make small, deliberate changes. That makes a big difference. So what are some small habits you can think of that you can try to remove from your day because they aren't serving you? And you have to be deliberate about it because it's a habit. It might take you a few weeks or even a few months of being very deliberate about cutting out that habit. Small habits you can remove from your day because they're not serving you.
Mm. Even if it's like a negative thinking habit, are there certain times of your day where you think negatively that you might want to rework and make into a positive?
Yeah, is the habit a negative self-talk thing? Or a judgment of the people around you, or how you react to different situations?
Yeah, I'd be happy to share. One of my habits is not completing tasks because I get distracted, and I'll do something, and then all of a sudden something looks better, and I stop what I'm doing and go that direction. And it's an awareness thing that says, "Hey, what are you doing here? Let's complete this project before you move on to something that you think is even better." That's my bright, shiny object down to my little habits.
Yeah. So the unproductive habit is the distraction, and then maybe the productive habit is the focus, right? And that's hard. I mean, you have to be super deliberate about that. What can you do, John, to increase that focus and not be so distracted?
Well, I think the very first step is to have that awareness that that's a habit, that I do that. And then I catch myself and say, and then I have a choice, and sometimes I don't fulfill that choice in the best way, and I just do it anyways. So I just have to have that awareness that that's a habit that I would need some discipline, and I need to break it.
Well, and maybe having a list of the things that are important to you to focus on so that when you do recognize or realize that you've gotten off track, go back to your list of, okay, this is what's important to me. This is what I need to be focusing on. Okay, I maybe had that hour of time that I didn't do what I needed to do. And now I'm going to refocus my energy. And so I find having those simple reminders of, no, I want to move forward with doing my notes for clients so I can so I can do billing, or, whatever it is. So it's okay, don't beat up on yourself for getting off path. Count that as, frivolous time that, you took a mental vacation, if you will. Don't beat up on yourself, and then just refocus. And the more you get used to refocusing yourself, the less that the other one will happen.
Mhm. Mhm.
I like that, Heather. And you don't want to just white knuckle it in terms of, well, I'm just trying so hard to focus. The white knuckle it. I'm holding onto that steering wheel so tight, trying to keep this thing straight. If you're just trying to white knuckle it, the distractions are going to keep coming. You need to have tools, and one of those tools is what Heather just said: is having a list of the things that are really important. This is why you chose to try and focus on those. That list can literally be right in front of you. It can be taped to the wall in front of you. You can have other tools, like YouTube has entire channels of background music that are designed to help you stay focused and not get distracted. You can look, that's what the music is designed for.
Well, and so, my question would be, does everybody have a must-do list? A must-do list and maybe a not-do list.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Must do and not do. I like that. And they can be kept right in front of you. They can be on a note on your phone, somewhere where it's easy to look. Another tool for focus and dealing with distractions is you schedule time to be distracted.
Mm-hmm.
From noon to 1 every day is when I get to go down the YouTube rabbit hole or play my video games or research this new thing that looks shiny and beautiful. Right? Set aside time for distraction, and then during that time, let yourself be distracted. And if you switch back and forth between 100 different things during that scheduled time, that's fine. You got to get your distraction time out of the way.
Well, and you remember the Pomodoro technique, honey.
You may have to remind me of that one. I remember the name, but not specifically.
Well, it was done on the Pomodoro timer, the timer that was shaped like a tomato.
Oh, yes.
And you set it for 20 minutes of focus time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do that 3 times in a row to basically take up an hour or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you give yourself the unfocused time after your focus time and use that timer. Mm-hmm. That during this time, I'm going to do nothing but focus. I mean, even if, it depends on how far down the rabbit hole you've gotten your brain as far as accustomed to the dopamine of YouTube and games and the algorithms. But, if you're not focusing all day, every day, then even if you focused for 1 hour, you'd probably get more done than you had for the previous week.
Yeah.
So start where you are, with no judgment, no harshness. It's just like, I have let that dopamine, the current media addictions wreck my dopamine brain. And how do I get it back on track? And maybe just an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon, you would get more work done if you did that every day than you did in the previous month.
Mhm.
If you did that for a week. And so it's like, well, then you're moving forward. And then you can build on that success and that feeling good and that self-esteem. And some of it's just taking back control of your brain. Our society has tried to get us to get numbed out and to be little working zombies for the system.
Mhm.
And so whatever you need to do to get back your time, get back your brain, get back your inspiration. Ian and I just did a day, was it Monday or Tuesday, honey, of silence.
Yep. Yep. Trying to reset.
Yeah.
Reset your dopamine levels, because your brain gets used to that high level.
And I wish I could say I was successful in it. I did it for many hours. I did not do it for the full 24. But even doing it for the many hours, that was still a success,
Well,
even though it wasn't the 24.
even told each other, what was it, I think Monday night, we were like, okay, we're not going to talk again until Wednesday morning. I think we were on the phone 3 times on
But
Tuesday.
not till the end of the day.
Yeah, we made it till early afternoon.
You know, what I think you're also saying here is our society, you know, where we've gone is instant gratification. That's
Yeah.
something that is really happening today. And we have, you know I have to fight that because I know instant gratification is not the answer to the success that I want to achieve. And Barbara said it really well. She said, you know, she likes to remember finishing a project, you know, and taking the time to understand that once you finish that project without that bright shiny object getting in the way is a better feeling than that instant gratification of going another direction to satisfy your immediate need.
Yeah, let yourself have a dopamine hit from finishing something. Feel good
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Right? The trouble is our brain, again, likes shortcuts. It likes the instant dopamine. This is why addiction is such a problem. In addiction, we tend to think of cigarettes and alcohol and drugs, but it includes video games and YouTube and Facebook or new things we want to study or you name it.
Or fasting and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even healthy things can be an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Workaholics, there is such a thing, you know?
Power and money can be addictions. Why? Because it gives us a dopamine rush that's unnaturally high. Any of these things. I was studying dopamine recently this week, and it's a normal day is something like 50 nanograms of dopamine per deciliter of blood. You know, so very tiny amount. 50 nano, it's 50 billionths of a gram per deciliter is your normal day. A really bad day where you cannot get out of bed is 20 nanograms. That's like depression level. The best day ever where you eat your favorite food and have the hottest sex is about 100 nanograms. Okay, so it's double your normal. But YouTube and Facebook push it up to 200 or 300.
That's like a speedball of
Right?
dopamine
Yeah,
compared to regular life.
you know, and then like alcohol and cannabis push it up to 500 or 600, and cocaine and heroin get it up to 1,000. Right? So this is why even things that we think of, well, you know, my YouTube and Facebook habit is not as bad as doing cocaine, but it's having the same effect on your brain, right? You know, it's
It
giving you
still
that,
hooks you.
it hooks you. It's an unnaturally high dopamine rush. Your brain now gets used to that 200, 300 level dopamine from doing all this, even though it's a totally unproductive activity. And now the normal dopamine level of 50 nanograms feels like depression in comparison.
Yep.
You can't get out of bed without your hit of going down the rabbit hole.
Oh, that would be great, Barbara. Come and visit us in Northern California.
You do. I'm getting beautiful weather in Central California right now. Gorgeous in the fall here. All right. So just think of a commitment you can make. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to think too hard about it. Nobody's going to give you the electric chair if you don't make it. But what's an action you're going to take in the next 10 weeks to finish the year strong? And it could be, I'm going to work on forming new productive habits. It could be, I'm going to adjust this thing in my business. It could be, I'm going to change this thing in how I approach my health. But what's something we can do in the next 10 weeks? And how do you want to share it? So one big action I'm going to take over the next 10 weeks is planning the next 10 weeks. My lovely wife will tell you how much I love planning and sticking to plans. You know, I'm with you, John. I see shiny objects every day. My plan for today is to find a shiny object and chase it. Right? Not a great
I'll give
plan.
you some shiny objects, baby.
I bet you will. Yeah. Right. So the big action that I'm going to take is to plan the next 10 weeks. What am I going to do for my health and my business and my relationships and everything over the next 10 weeks?
Here's my formula for that is that I'm going to change that negative number I have in my bank account to a positive number in such a way that I'm taking massive action and I'm doing it, as quickly as I can. And it's happening. And, that's where I'm at with that. What you're saying is, my priority.
So, John, you said it's happening. What are you doing that brings actual money into the account?
Well, I'm popping popcorn for one and
Yeah,
selling
popcorn.
Hey,
it.
Yay, John.
And I put out yesterday, and I'm going to multiply that times 2 or 3, is offering 1% to my partner production guy, who it's what's in it for him a lot. And so that's another thing that I will take action on is I will follow up with him today after I had a great talk with him yesterday. And then I can multiply this system that I have in place times 2 or 3 other people to raise more funds. And then it looks as a big picture to really get that negative to a positive in such a way that it's going to be a real big positive.
Barbara's going to plan her workshops and actually post them and announce them. There you go.
Oh, wait, Barbara.
Yeah, if you don't put them out there, nobody knows about them. Donna, you're looking for planning.
They exist in the other world.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They exist out there in the ether. I love it.
Well, and for our next 10 weeks, we're going to start a boot camp with a friend of ours and work on increasing our social media presence, getting our websites up, and really doing a good push so that we can start the year fresh with websites and all kinds of engaged social media stuff. So we're looking forward to that. That starts on Monday for us. We may put something in the community about it if we can find a link to that boot camp that we're doing with Robert. Right, Henny?
Robert Evans.
Yeah, Bob Evans. He's great.
I love it. Yeah. So, Bob, engage the challenges you encounter with that good attitude. I love it. That's very good.
Yeah, why wait?
Why wait? Why wait?
What was that thing about someday is just code for never?
Someday is just code for never. Mm-hmm. Someday is just code for never.
Someday I'll go to Hawaii. Someday I'll do this. Someday I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why wait?
Why wait?
I love it.
I mean, there are a ton of tools and tips that we teach and use for this kind of stuff. One that I like to reiterate whenever possible is our daily anticipatory gratitude. And this is something we often do in our morning accountability group is we imagine what it's going to be like at the end of the day. I'm going to bed, I'm putting on my pajamas, the house is quiet, I've said good night. And what did my day look like going back on it? And thinking, I already know I had an amazing day. I already know everything went awesome. And I'm already grateful for it. So it's that anticipatory gratitude, and hold on to that anticipatory gratitude all day long, thinking, I already know this is how I'm going to feel at the end of the day. I talk about balling up that anticipatory gratitude in a little ball of golden light, keep it in your pocket. Whenever the day goes sideways, because it will, because that's just life, you just reach in there and realize that I already know my day is awesome. I'm already grateful for it. And remember that who you are is not what's happening to you. The things that happen to you, for you, around you in the broader world are not you. You still get to decide who you are and what you want to be. And what do I say, honey? Things are not happening to you, they're happening for you.
Yeah, absolutely. They're happening for you to make you better, stronger, wiser. It has a lesson for you.
Mhm.
All of this stuff that's happened with Ian and I has made me stronger,
There you go.
physically, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually.
Back to a little Nietzsche there, right? I used to be able to say it in the German. I can't remember it now. Back in my actual political theory days when I read that stuff. Any questions from what we've spoken about so far?
Anybody else want to make a commitment to what they're going to work on in the next 10 weeks so that we can hold you accountable or give you support? Sometimes declaring it out loud is helpful, making that commitment in a group setting
Mhm.
means more, it lights up certain things in our brains.
It does. Yeah, energize that throat chakra, that loving energy, and use that authentic self-expression to make it real. Yes, Barbara, another good Nietzsche quote.
Mm.
Mhm. Brian committing to get his virtual project fully launched by December 31st. There you go. Very good.
Very welcome, Barbara.
Yeah, thank you. So creating that momentum, all this stuff we do when we get together and talk about these goals and habits and moving forward, this is what we do inside what we call our Empowered Business Habits community. We do it every weekday. And so if you felt supportive from these things, we usually run these open to the community, last Friday of every month or close to it. Next Friday is Halloween. So we did it. Uh, so if you feel support, if you can imagine what's possible in a loving community that holds space for you, we do this every day. Again, we have these free ones we run once a month, but we have a community subscription. If you feel like you could use this support every day, you can join our Empowered Business Habits community, finish out the year strong. So imagine waking up, but today's Friday, right? So waking up Monday morning, knowing you don't have to do this alone, that you can still be part of this community. And so you show up Monday morning and then each weekday morning in a loving, judgment-free space where people, they see you, they show up, they see you, they hold space for you, they celebrate you. You set your clear intention for the day. You say it out loud with that power, like we just talked about, vocalizing it. And you cap off the week with guidance from Heather and myself on upgrading mindset and habits. Every Friday, we get together and we talk about different mindset and habit techniques and goal setting techniques. That's what our group Empowered Business Habits is all about. And if you're a member of that group, you'll get daily morning calls. These are Monday through Friday. They last roughly 15 to 30 minutes, depending on who makes it on any given morning and how much we need to talk about, want to talk about. We share our wins from the previous days, not just wins, but also struggles from the previous days, talk about what we got done and what we didn't. We work through our blocks and any self-doubt. We set clear aligned intentions for the day. And most of all, again, it's just the showing up for each other and with each other, feeling seen and loved and supported by a completely non-judgmental community.
It's definitely a new habit that gets you to think about what is important for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I want to be today?
Yeah.
What is important to me to do today?
And that's why Heather and I set it up. We thought, what kind of group would we want to be in that helps us get up in the morning and set that intention and move forward with it and helps us accountable. So we just set up a group and started forming this membership. And we've been doing this all year and it's been awesome. And like I said, every Friday around this time, 10 a.m. Pacific, we do a weekly Friday coaching call. Usually lasts about an hour, maybe a little bit more, where we dive deep more into setting meaningful goals, not just paperwork, how to rewire our beliefs and our mindsets, how to form new habits, how to get rid of old habits. We talk about communication techniques, meditation techniques, all kinds of good stuff. And you get recordings of all of the Friday calls as a member. And starting next week, we're going to be doing kind of some more in terms of worksheets we can fill out and upload and share, daily prompts as far as what we want to get out of the day to kind of, really drive things forward together as a community. It is a community that actually cares about one another. It's awesome when you show up here and see that everybody's actually really interested in one another and what we're accomplishing and how we can support one another. Again, you get the live coaching calls on Fridays. Heather and myself are both there. And so you leave Friday feeling focused and clear and energized for the next week ahead. Anybody ever used to get a case of the Mondays on Sunday night?
Ugh.
Right?
Oh,
Get a
yeah.
case. Oh boy, here comes another week. It's Monday. Well, my case of the Mondays is now awesome. It's Sunday night. I can't wait for Monday morning. That's what a case of the Mondays means for me now, is like to get so excited about the week ahead because we're being so deliberate about what we want to do with the week ahead and we get excited about it. So my case of the Mondays is not a case of the blues. It's an exciting thing that I look forward to. This is not about toxic hustle culture. There are some similar groups where, boy, is it all about you get on this morning and you better be able to say what you accomplished yesterday and what you're doing today. Or, it's the old Jenny Craig style, right? We're going to put you on the scale in the middle of the room and see who lost the most weight today. It is not like that. We're not putting you on the scale in the middle of the room. It is not a high pressure thing. It is not that toxic hustle stuff. It is just real people showing up and holding space, supporting one each other. We have found that sort of loving environment seems to work better for at least for our tribe and the kind of thing that we're in line with. John, who was on today, so John, we appreciate him. He said EBH is a life-changing habit that has made me a better person. Every day I start by sharing my true authenticity in a place that is above all safe. It's made a difference in my life and it keeps getting better. You'll be glad you joined. Kristen out in Connecticut, who's one of our members, her and her husband Dave have been consistently coming for all year. Ian's and Heather's hearts and experience is helping me set up for success and moving towards the best version of myself possible through EBH. This combined with connecting with a loving community for accountability has been so impactful. Now even the least productive days are more productive than the days prior to being part of it because of how I am setting up to win from the get-go. The only regret I have is not joining the group sooner. So you can join now. This is a subscription-based thing. So it's $147 a month if you want to join monthly, or you can join for $14.77 for the year, which is like getting 2 months free. You can start out monthly and then switch to yearly at a discount as well. If you're on the monthly subscription, you could cancel anytime and then you will not be billed the following month. You can do the same for the yearly, then you just won't be billed for the following year. But this is something you can join. And if it's not right for you, or if you decide you've gotten what you needed out of it, you can cancel anytime if you want to take it month by month. If you want to check it out, go to empoweredbusinesshabits.com. I will drop that in the chat.
Well, and this has been great. Hanging out with everybody and talking about this. I love it.
It has. And this is kind of what we do every day in that community. I'm also grabbing a clickable link in case that other one doesn't resolve.
Thank you, Barbara. You too.
Thank you. Yeah, so thanks everybody who was able to make it. And any questions for anything we talked about today? Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Tom.
Great seeing everybody.
Good to see you all. We love you all, and we will see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Bye.